such a long list of credits. It's hard, just to go and choose one to question him on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with David there.
Well, look he started from the age of 4. I mean, my gosh, there's not a lot of people that can say that.
No, he's been at this for a while, and he's one of those he's one of those celebrities that is multifaceted because he's a performer, musically, he's a performer, artistically. I mean, he's done so many different things, and he's one of the few people that when one of these days he'll look back on his life and he'll say, I've done so many things. He's had a full life, and it's been great, to this point, and I'm sure it will continue. But he is really, like David said, I mean, he has such a list of credits. It's like, where do you start?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so true, and I'm sure he'll have a lot more, and we'll be watching. I know one of the programs he was on was The Mentalist, and I watched that, and I love that show, so I was so happy he was on there, and he was on Law and Order Criminal Intent. He was on CSI Miami. So, like I said, he's done a lot of TV shows, and I'd like to see him maybe get into another TV series, whether it be daytime or primetime, or even some more movies.
Yeah, he's definitely movie material.
He's definitely leading man material.
Yeah.
Not just only because of his looks, but because of his talent. What would be great is making a movie where he combined all of it, where he was dancing, singing, playing the trumpet.
Oh, I know.
All of that combined into one movie. Maybe he should write it and star in it.
Yeah,
that would be so cool.
It would.
So you guys want to touch base about what's going on in the soaps? You all caught up?
I am very behind on B&B. I haven't seen it in a while because the time I get home.
Shame on you. You should tell work you have to leave work early to watch your soap.
No, love that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't love that one.
Want to start with Young and the Restless? Dawn, your thoughts?
Well, all I can say is I have not watched it of late because of being so crazy busy at work and at home, and with the shows I do. But from what I understand, Lauren and Michael are having serious problems, and now she is getting ready to, if she hasn't already, do the dirty with
Carmine. And she did that today, and I'm seeing tweets on both sides. Like some are happy that she's going to hit the sheets with Carmine, and some aren't. And I happen to be one of the ones that are not too happy about it because I love her and Michael together. But
well, they have been together for so long, and they're just kind of one of those soap couples that people have just come to identify with as being the couple that no matter what happens, they always manage to work through anything, and they're strong, and and people just love the fact. I mean, every soap needs at least one couple that doesn't have issues like that. And now I feel like because the writing team has written this in as part of it, I don't know, it just kind of changed the dynamic, and maybe the writers felt like they needed some kind of drama, which they've done a very good job of creating that. But it's just, I don't know, it's just not setting well with me. Now Carmine is fine, and he's, lovely to look at, but, it just, I wish it could have been anybody else but her.
I know, right? He's got how many women in Genoa City that he could have chose from?
Well, the thing about it is he's kind of, Carmine is a playboy, and you can just tell that that's about him, and he's going to go after the married woman and not care. He doesn't have any scruples in that way, so it kind of fits him. But, I think the thing that people have come to love about Lauren is, back in the day, she was a bully, and she was ruthless, and she was, gosh, you love to hate her. I mean, she was...
Right. She was always picking on Tracy.
she was the female version of Adam on a good day. I mean,
right.
Just, and so she came from all that. And then you think about Michael, I think that's why it made them such a great pairing, because he had such a dark background. She did too, and when they came together as a couple, it was like, oh, this is a perfect pairing. And then they kind of both redeemed themselves through being a couple. And he went on to be the DA, or an attorney, and then the DA, and she's doing all these great things. And you just think, well, this is a great happy ending to horrible storylines. I mean, they were good storylines, but their characters were horrible. And then they kind of turned into good people. And to have this happen now, after all these years of this great dynamic being in place, I don't like it. I mean, anybody else on the soap, on this soap, I would say, okay. But I don't know. The whole Lauren and Michael thing is just like, why in the world did they even tamper with that? Because now, to me, and outside of Miss Chancellor and Murphy, there's nobody on the soap that's faithful.
I know.
Like, they were the last couple standing in that regard, and now that's been marred. So okay, here we go.
Yeah. Well, they're messing with Lily and Kane, so wasn't that enough? I mean, why did they got to break up two couples at the same time?
I don't understand why. Yeah, I'm really not sure why they decided to do dual kind of storylines in that way, because it really makes no sense, and it's almost too much. For me as a viewer, it's almost like, really, this is just too much to have to deal with and keep up with. Now, the whole Lily Kane thing, I would much rather the shake-up be with them, because they've had that off-and-on drama, break apart, come back together relationship anyway. And Lauren and Michael have been so stable because their early years were so unstable. But so it's nice to see that. So they were kind of the balance that Y&R needed in that way. But, Lily and Kane, it's coming. I mean, she's going to have her fling. He's going to have his fling with Chelsea. It's coming. I mean, if it doesn't, it's because they're veering on the edge of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you would expect that. And maybe that's why the writers wrote it the way they did, because, nobody in their right mind would have ever seen this coming with Michael and Lauren.
Oh,
even with the problem.
No, I wouldn't. And you know one thing? I can't see that this would be something that she would do that for. I mean, they're supposed, you know what I'm saying? I mean, why don't they come together as a family for Fenn?
Exactly.
And instead of breaking up, why do they want to break them up because of what happened?
If they ended up divorcing because they were on different sides of the fence with their son, that would be one thing. But now they're going to end up breaking up because she cheated.
And it won't even have anything to do with Fenn.
Exactly.
Yes. I mean, the irony of all this is Fenn and Michael are kind of working through their differences now. And they're kind of, back on the same page. And Lauren all of a sudden is just kind of out here on a whim, and it's, but I don't know if any of you saw the spoilers out there today, but on a couple of the prestigious blogs that blog about all these soaps, they were saying that she's just kind of have this huge amount of regret. So Carmine's going to be, he's kind of all ready to ride off into the sunset now, thinking, ooh, I've got my lady love kind of thing, and knowing he doesn't mean it. And and she's gonna be backpedaling. I mean, it's gonna be a reawakening for him, which I'm kind of glad that even if they wrote it that way, did they even have to go there? If it was going to end up to where she's having this enormous amount of regret, and realizes she shouldn't have done it, and it's after the fact, why even go there to start with?
Right.
But it's going to end up being this huge inflamed thing, and I can't even. There's nobody on that soap that I can even say, as a rebound from Michael, I could even see him with. I mean, who's he going to hook up with?
I don't know.
Phyllis? I mean, really,
I don't know.
Phyllis is the only available person right now, so it's like,
well,
who is he
Sharon
is
with? Too. Sharon and Phyllis, and I can't think of.
It's funny. It's funny because it wasn't long after. Well, Avery had been on there for a while, and at one point, sometime back, the way she and Michael were having interactions, I was thinking that he and her were going to have a fling. Just because it kind of was, it was being insinuated, but it never really got to that point or never got there. But there was some insinuation made that was leading me to believe that was going to happen. Although it would have made no sense at that time for it to happen, but it still was like it was just kind of there. But I don't know. It's like my mom says, the soap's just all screwed up now. She said everybody's just I don't like what they're doing. I don't like who they're with. This is crazy, and so that's what she says. But anyway,
and the other thing, the other thing, I think Finn should start paying for what he's done. And they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything with that.
Yeah. And, I mean, at least I was happy to see today that he's starting to have regrets and questioning himself on why he did this.
Well, I know, but it's like Jamie confessed that he didn't do it. And then it's just like that whole storyline is just dead in the water now. It's just like, it's just cut off, it's ended, it's over, it's done with, and that's it. And him and Michael are working through their differences that arose from it. So it's like, I don't know, that just wasn't played out properly,
In short.
It seems like it was just, okay, this has gone on long enough, we're going to end it now and move right on.
Right.
So
now, Michelle is saying, what is everyone's thoughts about Leslie and Tyler's storyline, that she thinks Marcus really killed their mother because they were having an affair? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was basically my thing I put out there last night, is I think maybe he's the one who actually killed their mother.
Okay, so... All right, I got to back up because I can't, I've got to back up in this storyline because it's been hard for me to follow it because it's been so secretive and, but, okay, why did they have to change their identity? What was the deal with that? That's what I haven't understood.
They didn't want to be affiliated with their father's name because he killed their mother, is what they said on the.
Okay. So their real father killed their mother because their mother was having an affair with the congressman, I bet. Is that what y'all are saying?
Supposedly, yeah. I mean, we don't know exactly why yet.
And so their dad's in prison, and that's the case that Avery's working on.
Yes.
And so the congressman doesn't want him to get out of prison because he killed, obviously. And that would make sense why the congressman's so interested in him.
Right.
And it would all make sense. But okay, well that makes sense. I honestly don't know, to tell you the truth. Now Marcus, okay, let me think about this. Who is Marcus again? Refresh my memory. I'm drawing a blank, people.
He's the congressman.
He's the congressman.
Okay. That's the congressman.
Yes.
So Michelle is saying, I'm looking at the chat room, so
she's saying that
the congressman, well, you know why I didn't recognize his name, because I always go by his last name. I always identify him with his last name, not his first name.
Right.
Okay, I'm clear now. So forgive me, guys, for... Okay,
that's okay.
Go ahead and say it, Pam. I'm a dork. Go ahead.
A dork. Don Dork. Don Dork.
All right. Well, he is also very shady, but I can tell you something. The guy who's playing the congressman, his name in real life is Mark Pinter, and I remember him. This is kind of off the beaten path, but I want to throw this out here. It's so funny to see him in this kind of evil, sadistic kind of role, because I remember back in the day he was on The Guiding Light. A much younger Mark Pinter, and I loved him on there. But I'm not crazy about him on Y&R, and he does. He's aged a lot. I mean, he doesn't look the same. But I'm kind of with Michelle on this. He's been shady from the word go, and I mean, he's just kind of a. No wonder his daughter was a prostitute,
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. But I would believe that he probably did kill her, but it's looking like the dad did,
Right, set him up.
Because he's all powerful, he set him up to make it look like he did it. But he probably killed her, I'm guessing, because she was going to turn the tables or something and expose him, and he's, rich and powerful. We can't have that. We'll just get rid of you kind of thing. So, yeah, that would make sense. And that would also make sense why Leslie and Tyler are kind of weirded out every time he gets in their presence.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. They probably know all about